Hello and welcome to Let Us Farm. My name is Emelifon Oge of Let Us Farm. You are welcome to Let Us Farm. So today, what we're going to be discussing is how profitable is catfish farming. You know, when you look at it this way, it's just like, why do you need to do catfish farming? Is it very profitable? First of all, remember this is Let Us Farm, and all we do here is to teach you practical ways to farm, make profit on your own. We do not have any WhatsApp group. We do not do any community contributing to do any farm project. So whatever I'm telling you is what I do in my farm, and you do it in your own farm and have same or best success. So if anybody contacts you that we are forming any WhatsApp page and you should pay money to join, kindly discard that. We don't have anything like that. So what we're discussing, like I said, is how profitable is catfish farming. Is it worth it? Do you really need to do catfish farming? So we're going to be discussing all these things, and after this discussion, please, if you have any question, kindly drop it in the comment section. And if you are having any issue with your farm, any problems, kindly do a 2 to 3 minutes video of this problem and send to me. When you send me this problem, I will be able to assist you free of charge. I will be right back to discuss this.
Àwọn láyé ni ẹ o, àwọn lọ́wọ́ ọ̀tá ni ẹ, ó ti rí wọn. Àwọn lọ́wọ́ ọ̀tá ni ẹ, ó ti rí wọn. Ó ti rí wọn. Ó ti rí wọn.
Welcome back. So like I said, in case you are having any issue in your farm, kindly do a 2 to 3 minutes video of this problem and send to me. I will be able to help you. Now, for starters, for you to understand where I'm coming from, I have been in catfish farming business for over 10 years. So whatever I'm telling you here is not, I don't have anything I'm selling to you. I don't have any profit I want to make out of you, but I just want to give you a guide so that, if you are planning to start catfish, or you have been in catfish and you are losing hope of quitting catfish, then you may have to listen to this video. After this, listening to it, you will now make a decision either to stay or to leave. Now, like I said, I have been in this business for quite some time now, and I have made progresses. I'm not really interested in telling stories of how I came from the village and became one thing like too many people do, but I want to give you an instance for you to understand how this business progressed. Now, when I started catfish farming initially, I started catfish farming with a pond I constructed myself. It was unfortunate that those days there was nothing like, we're not so curious about internet, so I don't have any documentary pictures and all these things, but I will give you transition of how it happened. So then I just had an idea of seeing people do catfish farming, and I decided that I loved catfish farming and I wanted to do it. So I built my own first tarpaulin pond. Yes, I built it myself. I had to go all the way to Idumota, bought tarpaulin, because I'm someone who's a little bit crafty, so I understand some of these things, and I did it. But for the discharge and the inlet, I had to get a plumber to do it for me. That's how I started. And when I started catfish farming, I started with less than 200. So that's the reason why most times when I see people that wants to start, and I look at the way you want to start, when I try to advise people, some people misunderstand it. They think that, I'm belittling them, that they can start so huge, I don't want them to start. But the reason is this: if you want to progress in any business, you have to grow. Any business is just jumping from the top. If you don't jump in from the top with professionals around you to guide you, you will fail. So that's why you see that big men that jump from the top, they bring professionals that they pay very heavy to guide them, and that's why they don't fail. But if you don't have that type of money to pay people, it's always good to start somewhere. So when I started like that. So from that, I grew into buying tarpaulin pond. Then tarpaulin pond was not popular the way it is now. We don't used to have already made tarpaulin pond. So I started, then graduated to tarpaulin pond. While I was doing this, I also had some rubber tanks. The black GP tank, that is made for catfish. We were part of the people that patronized them when they started. So that was how I grew. Then that I went to concrete tank. From concrete tank, before I went to earthen pond. That was the progress. Now, that's my own progress. I cannot stay here and start telling you these stories one after the other to waste your time. Now, where I am going to is what you want to hear. How profitable is catfish farming? Okay. Now, the thing about catfish farming is like every other business. It's a business that requires you to have one. You have to have plan. It's not a business that you just go in and just go out. You fail. So you need to have plan. You have a conscious plan. Plan of what do you plan to achieve in the business. What is your target? What do you want to sell? How do you want to sell it? And who do you want to sell to? If you cannot answer this question, sorry, you can't really do catfish farming. Now, in this business, for you, the growth of the business requires in the management skills that you have. If you don't get it right by one, making sure that you stock very good. First of all, when you have to do things as it is supposed to be, not do things because you want to cut corners. So when you do these things, when you have the correct sizes of what you want to stock with, then you stock and you feed very well. Averagely, what you should be making per sales on each of your catfish performance is from 40% to 60%. This is what you are supposed to be making. Now, some people make up to 80% profit on catfish farming. Is correct, but I will tell you why it happens. Like I said, averagely you make from 40% to 60% of your total production if you have done the right thing. Now, if you did not do the right thing and probably you were feeding your catfishes once and you want to make this kind of profit, you won't. Instead, you may make loss. That's the truth. Once you manage things in the processes of trying to make this business, sometimes you make only 5% profit. Yes, but the mistake is that some people don't understand what is profit in the business. So, like, I remember I posted a video on TikTok and someone asked me that why will I say that the only profit you make in catfish? I think then the analysis I gave, I told them they will make between 20% and 40%. It was like, how will I say that somebody will make 20% in the production? And when I read that comment, I now laugh and I replied him that the problem is that why many people fail today is that they love hearing the other side of the story, which is not correct. When somebody tells you make 100% profit, if there's a business that you make 100% profit, why do you think everybody's not doing it? That means there is something in that business that you will never know, and until you know that, you can't make that profit. So back to what we're saying. Now, if you are able to do all the needed things, remember, anything you are doing is not for me, it's for you. So if you are able to do all the needed things, stocking right, stocking the correct fishes, feeding them very well, your water management, your feed management, and everything management in the catfish, the greatest thing that will now make the difference in what you sell is your pricing. Like I said, you make 40% to 60%. Most of the times, people make flat of 20%. Why they make 20%? It's not that there is no more profit, but the reason why you make 20% after everything in the business sometimes is when the market is saturated. Now, this is in catfish. This is something that separates people's profit. I can stock 500, you can stock 500. Things that will start separating our profit model is one, the time of sales. Now, I have done a video where I talked about the best time for you to sell your catfish and make the best profit. If you have not watched it, try and go and watch the video. Now, so what separates the profit is time of sale. So if you want to sell and you now start calling your buyers who you have negotiated with before to come and buy, and you discover that there is too much catfish in town, the best thing you do, that's what I do. Although in my own case, I already have a steady calendar of my sales. But when I started having some issues then, and I started noticing the secret. So the first thing you will do when you now notice that there is a hiccup like this in terms of sales is you don't sell at that time. Let's say you want to sell on a Monday, and when you call, you discover that, oh, many people are selling the same Monday. Hold on till Thursday. Thursday, you call again, and oh, many people are still wait till the next week. You can even decide to give yourself a 2 weeks gap. So when you give yourself that time, catfish is not something that people keep buying one. They will just go and finish one pond, they move to the other. So when you give that gap, you discover that buyers will face that particular person who is selling, and by the time they finish, they are now looking for buyers. They come back to you, there will be a slight review of price. I'll give you an example. If they are selling per kg, maybe you negotiated and you were told that a kilo is 3,000 for 1 kg and above, and you now want to sell, and because they have too many people that want to sell at the same time, and these buyers now decide to drop it to like say, oh, are you going to sell 2008 so that we'll buy? If it was me, because when you are planning for your feeding, always make provision for to feed them like 1 month after, in case this situation happens. Then you slow down, tell them, no, I'll wait, don't worry. So you see, now instead of you losing out because they're already pricing you to instead of the 3,000 agreed, you wait. So after that time, they come back to you, they price 3,000. You can even say, hey, give me 3,015 naira. Negotiation. Some may agree, some may not agree, but you sell at the 3,000. You may think you have lost, you've not lost anything. All the fishes, all the feed that your fishes are eating will still convert to body energy that you will add in the sales. You see, you lost nothing. Now, another thing that can differentiate, like I said, you can make 40% to 60%. Now, I have given you the reason why you may make 20%. Now, the reason why you may make 80%, let me give you that reason again. That reason is that there are sometimes there is no fish. And most times if it happens, when you watch, you see that the people that have fish that time are the veterans in the business. When they keep asking questions, and they discover that, oh, many people are selling, then they try to find out who is selling after this many people, and they discover that not many people have fish after that set, they stop selling. For you, a new person, it will be difficult because you keep feeding, so you don't have money to do feeding. But for the veterans in the business who understand it, they just cut sales. They don't sell. They keep feeding their fishes. So by that time, there is no fish. Buyers always need fish because they have to make sure that the restaurants, the bars, their customers that eat fish every time, they always get fish. Believe it or not, fish is a very high demand. But sometimes there may be glut in the market because too many people are selling at that time. But it's a high demand. Fish is like what people eat every day. Even if people don't go to bars, don't go to joints, which you know that there's no way people will not go to bars to drink. And there's no way they cannot eat catfish pepper soup, barbecue. So these buyers want to feed the people that they supply to. So that is where the old timers in the business come into experience play. They make provision for their feeding so they can actually decide to hold on to sales. Now, there is no fish in town. Now, let's say the agreement before that time was to sell 3,000 per kg. They decided to block their sales. They stopped. They've seen that there's nobody that have fish. And sometimes these buyers may want to like travel like 5 hours, 6 hours, and they see somebody that is just a 30 minutes drive. He negotiates. You know what? Give me 3,100 and I sell you my fishes. You see, that automatically spikes up your profit. So you see, instead of the person making the 20% or making the 40% or making the 60%, he makes 80% profit. So the question now is there truly profit in the business? Yes. But how do you get to the profit in the business? For you understanding the scope of the business. If you truly understand catfish business, starting from the production, starting from the management, and you get to the sales, you will see that there is profit, huge profit in the business. But then there are people that make loss, heavy loss. One, they make loss because they're ignorant. They just stock catfish, they just come on the air, they see people selling market and they're telling you, buy this, put this, make this. They're happy. They do it. They don't come out with any profit. And they just, because I've seen people come on the comment section and say, there is no profit in the business. My friend, stock, he failed. If your friend failed in the business, kindly ask him to explain to you how he failed. Nobody wants to tell you that he caused his failure. Everybody, if they don't, they will tell you that, oh, the business is useless, they failed. The person that supplied me juvenile made me fail. The feed I use made me fail. Nobody will say, oh, I made myself fail because I did the wrong thing. But is there profit in the business? It's highly profitable. But you have to slow down. Catfish is something that takes time. So, if you have any question or comment in what I have said, kindly use the comment section. There could be a part 2 of this story. so that you will understand if there's truly profit in catfish farming. Until I come your way next time, my name is Emelife Oge of Let Us Farm. Keep farming, take off life.